Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to EO Network Podcast. I'm Adrian Matt, your host, and in today's episode, it's going to be quite comedic. If you heard of KSI's new song that came out, everybody's been talking about it at least in the past week, none other than, quote, Thick of It. That's the song that KSI released. And listen, I understand, ladies and gentlemen, KSI's a huge boxer. He's this streamer, YouTuber, whatever you want to call it. He's a millionaire. I understand he has a lot of fans out there. Perhaps maybe some of his fans are going to be in this video, going to be defending him. I get it. But can we be at least for real about this, please? Why in the world did KSI decide to make this? What in the world? I can understand why they call him KSI, because he's killing songs instantly. The man is killing songs, like the one he released. Honestly. Pretty funny joke, I know. Anyway, no, for real though. KSI, okay, you can look at him however you want. Okay, some people say that he's a really good boxer. Some people say that he's a good YouTuber, whatever the case may be, okay? There might be some mixed reactions when it comes to that, but it looks like out of everything, though, I think there is one universal agreement that everyone is saying online, and that is the fact that his music is awful. Now, I'm not like most of the people on the internet. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm not going to listen to what people say and then already believe it. I decided to do it upon myself or take it upon myself to do some research, and therefore I got on YouTube and decided to listen to the entire thing. I can see why people don't like it. The lyrics, first off, are very much awful, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But what in the world is this music video? What is it? Can somebody explain to me exactly what this music video is? Okay, what in the world is wrong with KSI's music video? It's really stupid. Because, I mean, there's parts in the video where he's just standing there as a statue or something. I'm not even quite sure, if I'm being honest. It's also, I don't know, it's also so stupid. I'm just looking at it right now on my phone. It looks like he's actually in some sort of crystallized statue. I could be wrong, or in some sort of ice figure. I'm not even quite sure. All I know is that he is starting out the music video inside of that, and it looks like he is just singing through it while being frozen. And I can guarantee you everyone probably was frozen in time when they listened to this song because it was that bad, but that's beside the point. The point is, though, you look at this music video and you think, what in the world am I watching? And then you skip over and you see KSI's in some sort of office or something. He's throwing around paper. He's sitting in a chair here and there. Okay, great. So the music video is awful, right? Sometimes the music video could be awful, but at least the song makes up for it. Some people might go out there and say, hey, the song at the very least is what really matters. Maybe the song is good. The music video might be bad, but who cares? The song is good. So perhaps maybe that could have been the case for KSI. However, it wasn't. Because not only was the music video bad, but the entire song was awful. It was. It really was. And I don't know why in the world this is, well, actually, I can have an idea why this is trending because everybody's making fun of it. Everyone's criticizing it. And in a way, I kind of feel bad, right? I mean, listen, I'm not one to criticize a lot of people out there, right? I understand that there's a lot of things that people work for. I understand that a lot of people are hard workers out there, okay? And I understand that people obviously are doing what they can to make sure that they can definitely get the work done so they can try to make it as good as possible. I understand that. And for KSI, I will definitely give him the respect that at least he tried. But my goodness gracious, this was awful. Okay, let's go ahead and go over the lyrics here in just a minute. So he says in one of the verses, he says, quote, I'm in my prime and this ain't even final form. They knocked me down, but still my feet, they find the floor. I went from living room straight out of sold out tours. Life's a fight, but trust I'm ready for the war. That is just incredibly stupid. And then not just that, but also, quote, I'm in the thick of it. Obviously, that's the name of it. Everybody knows. They know me where it snows. I skied in and they froze. I don't know nothing about no ice. I'm just cold. 40-something million subs or so I've been told. What? What is this? Okay. Again. A little half of me does feel bad for the guy because I understand, again, when people get criticized, I feel bad. But the other half, though, I don't really have that much. I don't really have that much sympathy. Okay, here's a guy that I heard many times in the past that he's actually a very, very mean guy at times. Okay, so I don't really feel bad about it because I've heard many stories about the man. I've heard a lot of times where KSI has done things to the past, or at least in the past, where he's gone too far and he's actually hurt a lot of people. I don't know if this is true or not, if I'm being honest with you. I really am not. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's true. But nonetheless, though, a lot of people out there do say that he is a public figure that has some mixed feelings about him, or he is a public figure that has mixed respect towards people. And, you know, sometimes he's being nice to people and sometimes he's not. But that's beside the point. We shouldn't really judge a song based on the person's attitude and the way that they treat people, which is still awful, but that's a different story. This song, though, is not even entertaining. It doesn't even sound good, right? And that's saying something because there's a lot of idiots out there that listen to idiotic songs and they go out there and say this is great stuff. In fact, honestly, music has died nowadays, and that could be a separate episode for a podcast another week. But still, music nowadays have died. Okay, music has absolutely died, and no one really knows true music anymore. And for the most part, people who listen to the music today are just awful. There's a lot of clowns out there that produce music that is terribly stupid. And then not just that, but also the clowns out there that like to support all this garbage. KSI is one of these people who is producing all this garbage music, and obviously he's getting a lot of attention now, despite the fact that he's got a lot of criticism over it. I do want to say that there's a lot of people out there as well that are saying that it's pretty good. At least there are people out there saying that it's not as bad as what people make it out to be. And sure, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but what in the world? What are you listening to? And why do people like KSI even actually, why do they get blown up on the internet? What is so special about KSI? Because he's a boxer? That doesn't really matter to me. I mean, who cares? There's a lot of boxers out there. What, am I supposed to just bend down on my knees and kiss his rear end just because he boxes? I mean, come on. I mean, it's ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous how a lot of people support the guy regardless. And when it comes to this song, obviously it's trending all over, but still it's getting a lot of immediate attention when in reality it shouldn't. Now, obviously, I'm sure people are going to say, well, you're the one covering it. Well, duh. Obviously, it's really probably the biggest news happening this week, but still, I just don't understand exactly what it is with people really following people like KSI, for instance. He doesn't have any talent. He doesn't. All right? I don't like the fact that he hangs out with people like Mr. Beast, who's also, he's a garbage type of person, as we all know. He's horrible, Mr. Beast is. You don't know why, then you should probably go and watch the previous video about Mr. Beast, how he got exposed before. But I'm sure all of you watching this video probably already know what happened in the past dealing with Mr. Beast. But KSI's own song is just terrible. It is. I don't know exactly what it is that he was thinking. I mean, the lyrics just are awful. Like I said, I mean, I don't know what it is with the lyrics. It just doesn't sound true. It just doesn't sound true. It doesn't sound credible. It really doesn't, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, some of the lyrics is just beyond abhorrent. And he's talking about his life, I get that. But I mean, for the most part, though, some of this stuff is just, it sounds as if maybe a fifth grader wrote it. I don't know. It doesn't really sound that serious to me. It doesn't really sound as good as it should have been. KSI is a millionaire, I'm sure, right? He has enough money to produce the best type of songs he can, all right? And with the amount of money that he has, this is what we got. In the video that was taken, I mean, what was that? I don't understand what was so pleasing, what was so aesthetically pleasing of that video, what was so cool about it, because there was absolutely nothing. And then the song itself is kind of not even as catchy as people might perhaps think it is. And not just that, but also the lyrics are just god-awful. And I understand that KSI is very upset about this. In fact, I understand that there was some sort of interview that Mr. Aiden Ross was doing. And apparently he was interviewing KSI, and he basically, KSI was a little uncomfortable whenever Mr. Ross said that the song was not as good, and KSI got upset about it, and he left. And I understand a lot of people are also blocked by KSI because of them speaking out against the song. So KSI it's really hurting the guy a lot. It is. So I think it's terrible, but at the same time, I feel somewhat bad because a lot of people are after him for this. But then again, I hear a lot of stories about the guy that he's not as cool or not as good of a person, so I don't know about that. But in terms of the song itself, it's not my liking. It's not my cup of tea. In fact, I hate rap, if we're being honest with you. Rap battle is just terrible. Terrible. Awful. The worst. It is. I don't understand exactly the appeal of it. You listen to this, I don't know, it's not catchy is what it is. You just have these people just talking, mumbling in the background, and then they're trying to, I don't know, tell you a story, but it's just all stupidity, if you ask me, and it's just them repeating the same old with the lyrics. Whatever happened to the old songs out there? Maybe early 2000s, for instance, those songs were great. But I have no idea what happened to this world. But in terms of KSI, though, listen, there's a reason why he should stick to boxing. There's a reason why he should stick to being a YouTuber, and that's the reason why. Because he cannot make any songs. And KSI really could also be stood for keep silence instead. He should not be anywhere near the music industry. He should not be anywhere near that business when it comes to KSI and music. So I'm just saying that it was horrible when I listened to it for the very first time earlier today. I understand exactly why people are upset. I don't really condone what people are doing, though, going out of their way and sending messages directly at him. Okay, it's one thing to have your opinion, but if you're going to be cursing out the guy, if you're going to be, calling him all these different names and going out of your way to try to make him feel bad for the effort that he's put in, I'm sorry to say this, but you are just as much of a clown as the next person. All right? And yes, I know it's bad, but I'm not going to sit here and say, man, he is just the stupidest guy. I will say his song was stupid for sure, and I will say the lyrics were stupid, but I'll give him the respect that at least he tried. At least. But that's my thoughts on it. That was the biggest story for this week, and therefore, of course, I decided to cover it. But there is a lot more stories coming up. In fact, I cannot wait. Literally next month, as you all know, it is November time. The elections will be taking place. Either Kamala Harris is going to be our president, or it's going to be Donald Trump. Anyway, with that being said, everybody, thanks for joining us here, part of the EON Network podcast. We thank you for taking the chance to watch this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also we'll catch you next time in the next video live on the EON Network podcast. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Don't listen to KSI's song.